So, I usually don't record voiceovers for these, but I honestly felt like this one needed a little bit of a story time and a little bit of an explanation behind it because you see, I used to be a horse girl. I guess in a lot of ways I still am a horse girl. And The Sims had that wonderful sale this year that just recently ended. And one of the packs that was on sale was the Horse Ranch pack. And before, I couldn't really justify buying it. Not at full price. I don't think I've bought any packs for The Sims at full price because, like so many of us, I'm just not made of money. But once it was on sale, I became a lot more interested in buying it. Because, like I said before, I've been a horse girl forever. And one of the interesting things about being a horse girl forever is, I don't know about anybody else, but I had my dream horse ranch in mind, and I'm never going to be able to make it in real life. And I've actually, ever since becoming an adult, I've learned that horses are very expensive and very labor intensive. How do I know this? Well, because for a few years, actually about 10 or 11 years, I had some horses. And they were not nearly as much fun as 9-year-old me thought they were going to be. They were still wonderful. I miss them. I don't miss the work involved with them. But back when I would say, about 9, I designed my ideal horse ranch. And now that I have bought the horse ranch pack for The Sims, well, I could actually make my ideal horse ranch and live out my virtual horse girl life. So that's what I did. And I grew up in the state of Michigan. And if you don't know, Michigan in the winter is a very, very, very cold place. So growing up in the state of Michigan, my ideal horse ranch, if the very first thing it needed to have was an indoor arena that, would have a glass roof. Growing up, I did learn that maybe a glass roof probably wouldn't be the best thing. Glass is breakable, snow is heavy. But, it's The Sims, and in The Sims, the glass doesn't break when it gets snow on it. So, hey, my 9-year-old dreams could still have a possibility of coming true. So I built this barn, starting with the arena and then moving on to big loose box stalls for my horses, a little tack room, a nice little office. And then it was time to start furnishing it, and that is where I can't say that this build has no CC, but it does have minimal CC. I went CC shopping on CurseForge just to pick up a couple more little, horse ranch type, farm type things. I do have cottage living, and that helped a lot, but there were a few things that I did end up using CCs for. I'm going to try to remember to upload this to the gallery. I have not completely play tested it all. A lot of times I do these builds, it's purely for the aesthetic. Although, that being said, everything that I've tested in this build so far has actually worked. So that's a good bonus. I think the biggest one that I built that I had to do a lot of tweaking to make it usable, and I'm still not sure it's on the gallery, is my Brady Bunch house. That one was a pain. I feel like I've learned more since then, but it was still a pain. But anyway, 9-year-old me wanted this barn, so 51-year-old me actually made it for her. And I like the little office that I made. I like the tack room. And then, of course, if you're in this barn with the built-in arena, you have to have a house, you know? And I decided that the perfect thing to do would be to have a little covered porch where your sim could just sit out and look over the arena even when she wasn't out riding in it. Roofs give me fits. I am not the world's best builder. I am definitely no James Turner or Deligracy or Little Simsy, but I feel like I'm getting better every time I try to build things. But roofs are still a pain. I think it turned out okay. Also, trying to get things centered is a pain. Not really sure that I'm happy with the end result of the centering, but you know what? I am happy with the end result of the build. Now, this build actually took me about 4 hours, so thank goodness for the magic of speeding things up, because I would never ask anybody to sit through 4 hours of me nitpicking over the debug menu, which I did for a long time. Somebody needs to go through and make a way to sort the debug menu, because there are so many cool things in it, but they're so hard to find. But you know, I did try to mostly use items from Horse Ranch for this build. Not quite everything. I did find some CC that was big hay bales, because of course the upstairs of this barn is just supposed to be the hay loft. And I cut out a bunch of me trying really hard to make cutouts in the floor for dropping your hay bales through. I never did actually get that to work, so life goes on. And as you can probably tell, I spent a lot more time building in the barn than I did building in the house. Houses in The Sims are important, and sometimes I make them ridiculously detailed, but this time I was like, you know what? I want the barn to be the shining star of this. So I just made a basic little loft house. I wanted something where, you know, I could picture what 9-year-old me wanted to live in. Again, most of this build is just me indulging the 9-year-old who designed it, you know. And surprisingly, honestly, after building it, I think it would work as a home and as a horse ranch. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of okay with this build. I did try and put a dumb step in the kitchen area. Didn't quite work, but I did get it kind of the way I wanted it. Again, I'm not the world's best builder. I'm especially not the world's best bathroom builder. You'll see that the inside upstairs bathroom is the most boring and plain bathroom in the history of forever. The kitchen turned out okay. I feel like every kitchen that I build in The Sims is just me wishing that my actual real-life kitchen looked half as good as any of them that I design, and I'm not even that good at designing them. So. Also, I'm kind of upset that Horse Ranch didn't have like a sliding glass door put in with it, because I wanted a door to the upstairs patio, and I just couldn't find one that I really liked. I did like the Mount Komorebi, I think it is, shelf that I used as a bookshelf, because it fit that window so perfectly. But yeah, most of this was just me kind of trying to imagine what 9-year-old me would have wanted. And even though I gave myself the absolutely crummy Basement Treasures TV, I did give myself a better TV up in the bedroom. And then I also found an excellent CC pack that was just horse pictures. So I used some of those as artwork on the wall. I also gave myself a gaming PC because I feel like 9-year-old me would have wanted that, you know? Of course, 9-year-old me barely knew anything about the Atari, but that's because I'm old. Not that there's anything wrong with being old. Being old is kind of okay. But yeah, most of this was just me having a good old time and wishing that building in real life was half as easy as building in The Sims. I mean, it took me, like I said, about 4 hours to do this build. And in real life, it took about a month just to get new windows and insulation put in the place where I live. So, yeah, building in The Sims. Much, much easier. Also, in The Sims, you don't really have to worry nearly as much about being buried in the snow, which is something I'm looking out the window as more and more snow just keeps falling on my house. That's no fun. Sorry about the verbal tangents here, but you know, I did have a lot of fun. Like I said, I decided once I got this place all built out that of course I had to make some Sims to go in it. Did I make a lot of Sims? It depends. I only made one human Sim, but I did give her either 4 or 5 horses, and because they've sadly passed over the Rainbow Bridge, I also gave myself my cat that I got when I was 9 years old. I figured he could live on in The Sims pretty much forever, especially if I never touched the save file. And the best dog that I ever had. His name was Loki, and he was a ginormous German Shepherd. So yeah, like I said, as a former and probably forever horse girl, this was a lot of fun for me to build. I mean, I got to remake some of my very favorite animals, and who knows, maybe I'll add a few horses to my Let's Plays, you know, just so that all of my Sims can also live out their very favorite horse girl lives. So I did do a walkthrough in first person mode, kind of, and I hope that you enjoy it. Like, I really feel like in live mode this turned out really cute, and I'm actually really proud of how it turned out. So, as always, thank you for indulging me. I know I rambled a whole heck of a lot, but it was all kind of in good fun, and thank you for indulging me. Be sure and hit that thumbs up button if you would like. I will probably have more Sims builds coming because I do really enjoy building in The Sims, and I feel like I keep getting better. I also play World of Warcraft, read books, and go for walks out in the actual real world that I live in. So, thank you for joining me, and I will see you later.